What up? What up? What up? What up? Pow, 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 pow.
Welcome back to the episode of this wonderful podcast. Like I was saying, with
Velvet and
it's your girl Fee Baby on the ones and twos. What the fuck is good?
yes. Hopefully, I had a great weekend. You know, a great week last week. We took a week off.
A little sabbatical.
But yeah. So I hope y'all missed us.
Yeah.
Cause we missed you.
Absolutely. Yeah, we just needed to take some time, just kind of, simmer a bit. Just as much as it's important sometimes to take a breather from work. Also, hobbies as well. Sometimes you just need to
take a break. Take a minute. A second or two.
Yeah. So how have you been since we last spoke to our misguided hoes?
I've been pretty good. I got a new addition to the family. No
You
guys. No guys.
Oh.
No. That's why I already said no guys. I am not with child or had child. Okay? And if y'all thought it, fuck y'all, because that means y'all thought my ass was fat as fuck. Okay?
You could have hiding it. All of them tests that you kept taking and telling you was pregnant on the internet,
No. No.
Got it.
Yeah, we would definitely take off more than a week if that was what was to come up.
Like I was saying, they ain't got a lot of maternity leave.
But yeah, bitch ain't got all that. So I got a little fur babies.
Ooh.
It's a husky, and he been trying to work my nerves. Trying to potty train and crate train. The potty was doing well until about 3 minutes ago.
Yo, this is a wild man. I met him for the first time today. This is a wild, wild boy. He is a wild man.
He's definitely petty, because when he had used the restroom on my floor, before I was like, no, that's what you're supposed to do, blah, blah, blah. And so after maybe a few moments or whatever, he comes and he goes to get something to drink, and then he comes back, looks at me dead in my eyes, like, watch this, bitch. And that mofo pissed on my floor again. And I was like, oh, you one of them motherfuckers.
They are a very bold breed, huskies. They are very bold
and intelligent. And I was playing hide and seek with him earlier, and I was running around, and so I would stay in one place. And after I did it like 2 times, he was like, "Oh, I caught on." So I did it again, and he just stayed there, and he just like did a little like, yeah. And I said, "Okay, I see you smart."
They are incredibly smart, and they need someone to let them know.
It's definitely something. I'm telling y'all. I was like, woo! It's definitely worse than having a baby, because at least with them, like, there is
diapers.
Yes, even though dogs have diapers. I'm not having a dog wear no damn diaper, but there are doggy diapers. But I was like, at least there's diapers with them. You know?
And he's real cute though. He wears socks. He real cute.
He bites socks and feet. He loves feet. You hear me? That is his thing. If he was a man, he would have a foot fetish. I'm telling you. God damn. I was like.
So what was your journey to your fur baby?
Well, I was in Tennessee at a wedding, and I actually wanted to go get my nails done. I was like, I want something Halloweenish, is what I was telling the lady. And so when I was waiting for my turn, she was doing someone else's nail, finishing up, and they were talking about their dogs. And I was like, yeah, I've been wanting a dog, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, why don't you look on this website? This is where I got mine from. And I looked, and there's like a kabillion, made up a number, dogs on there. And I was like, why doesn't Virginia have this shit? We don't have that shit.
Trying to find a dog around here is
very
difficult.
That, and they're either like crazy expensive or sketchy as fuck. There's very few in between. It's either this spectrum or you got to pay $18 billion for a dog. So yeah. So I went on there, and she was like, just make sure you read through blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, of course. And I found like 5. So I was like, I'm going to send messages to the ones I really like. And there was like 5 of them. There was this gorgeous, like white. And I was like, oh. But that motherfucker didn't want to hit me back.
Damn.
Yeah. And so
you let someone know like you don't have the dog anymore.
Something right, and I was like, you hoe, and I'm like, and the message I'm like, I'm only here for this weekend, so I need to know, blah blah blah. And so I got hit back by 3 of the 5. While I was there, I got hit back by 1 after I left, and I was like, bitch, I'm already gone.
Right.
But 3 of the 5, 1 had 3 they were selling, but the one I really wanted got sold earlier that day. And they were like, well, we have this one. I said, it's not what I, it's not what I want. It's a gorgeous dog, but it's not, like, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, nope, that's not it. And then there was the white, there was another black one, and then this black one. And yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, but went away for a wedding, came back with a dog. I said, huh? Did I hear you right?
Yes. Yeah. And so I'm excited. And I realized that I probably will be buying a house next year. A lot has come into over this last week of shit. So yeah.
Love that for you.
Trying, I guess. Something.
Yeah. So what have you been up to since anything go on this weekend? Do anything?
Fur baby. That's really bad. I'm trying to think what else I've done besides not sleep. Because I'm like, I have to get him up and take him outside to use the bathroom. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is different than a child, too. Because I can just, change the diaper and go back to sleep. Now I have to actually sleep with clothes on. Because otherwise, if I take too long, motherfucker will pee on my shit. So I am not used to that. Like, I'm used to, having on undies and stuff, like undergarments. But now I got to sleep with fucking at least shorts on so I can slide my slides on and run out the fucking door before he piss on my shit.
That's ghetto.
It is so much. It is so much. It was like
a lot of good thing. It's like a temporary window, but puppies are a lot of work.
Yeah, it was like 3 a.m. and I was like, no, I want to sleep. And he was like, no. So we went outside, and then he wanted to play, and I said, bro, it's 3 a.m. It's no play. It's pee and come inside. It's pee. It's 1 and 2 and come inside. That's all you're getting. I may tussle with you for about 3 seconds while we in the house, and then I'm halfway closing my eyes to go back to sleep. But yeah, so that was really the weekend. My son loves the dog. I said you have to get used to him. He's like, he bite, and I said, well, you got to train him. Those are things you got to do. You can't be afraid of him because otherwise he's gonna tear that ass up.
Yes, because he's gonna sense that. He gonna. Okay. I see.
He gonna tear that ass up, so I said you can't be scared of him.
Yeah, no.
So that's basically mine. What about you?
So while we kind of took our week off from recording, I've been kind of also like distancing myself from like social media, stuff like that, kind of like unplugging. I haven't been wearing like my smartwatch over the last like week or so. Just really trying to just center, understand what my relationships are to various things that are given to us that connect us to outside things. Because it's funny because I initially got my smartwatch with the intention of not having my phone in my hand so much because I read this book. It was like digital minimalism, I think over like maybe a year or two ago. And it was like most times people would grab the phone to see like, oh, do I have a notification? Oh, no? Okay, whatever. Unlock their phone and then go and do something with their phone that was completely unrelated to the purpose of initially grabbing their phone, like go on social media, what have you. So I was like, okay, I'll get a smartwatch so that like I'll know when I have a notification. That way I won't be grabbing my phone just to grab my phone and then just be meddling in it for longer than need be. But I started realizing, it didn't happen until most recently, I started realizing with the smartwatch, I felt a need of urgency the moment I realized I had a notification, like to respond to whatever it was I was getting right then and there. So I felt like it turned into me being more attached to my phone than what I was before. So right now I've just kind of disconnected from both. Just kind of, when I see my phone, I see it. When I don't, I don't. Again, just not being, and it's felt really nice to not like feel, because it almost was like striking anxiety in me when like my watch would go off. If I wasn't like able to respond immediately, there was like some type of anxiety trigger that I was getting, and it's nice to not have that. Like even if I pick up my phone and I see, maybe it's because I'm not seeing the messages and who they're from. Like for example, right now I just saw that I have a text message on my phone, but I guess maybe it's because I don't know what it is or like who it's from. I have no sense of urgency to respond to it and look at it, like right here, right now. And otherwise, really just been hanging out last weekend. Went to North Carolina to see my friend for a bit. In the process of planning her bachelorette for her wedding, bachelorette weekend. And this weekend I spent doing like Halloween activities. Like I went to Hunt Club Farm on Sunday, and then
how was that?
It was good. It was really good. It wasn't super packed. It was very much, and everything kind of moved rather quickly. Like I wasn't standing in line for a while, and found out I had a flat tire, which wasn't a good time.
Especially because you live on the other side of the water.
Yes, I was deep Virginia Beach, and I had to travel back to Hampton at the end of the night, so that wasn't fun.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
And then Saturday I did a hollow scream, which reminded me of all the reasons I hate amusement parks. Like I love the attractions, but the people you have to interact with is just overly frustrating, between teenagers to young kids to even adults. Like it was just all frustrating. And then, oh my gosh, the time you have to wait for stuff.
It's terrible.
Did not like it. Like I think like for a roller coaster waited like over an hour, and then one of the lines for one of the mazes was like hour and a half, 2 hours. But it's kind of like, we're here, we have time.
You know, so no,
let's just do. But I think before then I haven't been to Busch Gardens. I used to go faithfully, like had the pass and everything. And then I would say maybe 4 years ago, 4, maybe 5, just stopped going. I was like, I don't have the patience for it, especially in the middle of the summer. I don't like just standing out and sweating. It's not real fun for me.
Yeah.
So.
At all.
No. So yeah, that's kind of been what I've
been doing.
Yeah.
Sounds like a productive weekend filled with cold. No.
Actually, that's the crazy part, because I prepared myself. Like I think Saturday I wore like a sweatsuit, and for the first part of it, I was sweating in it.
Ooh.
And I was
so you
like,
lost some weight. That's a couple pounds right there.
Right? And then last night when I went to Hunt Club, I just wore like a fuzzy sweater. Was sweating for a good majority of that. I said, what am I missing here? What am I missing?
Apparently the weather.
Right. I'm like, usually it's stupid cold.
Yeah.
And especially like we're...
October?
Halloween's this coming weekend.
I know. Yeah.
Any plans?
No. Which is weird to say. Usually I have plans, but I have no plans at all. So, yep, there's that.
When did your son last go trick or treating? Like, has he not had interest in it recently? Has he yet? What?
That's such a great question. I don't have him on Halloween ever, so I have no idea. He goes to his father's every Halloween. That's their
thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I know he goes there. I just ask, are you gonna dress up? And he'll say, I don't know, maybe or not or whatever. But they always do something. So I have no idea. Yeah. But I don't think they went last year because COVID and stuff. So I think they may have done something maybe in the neighborhood with like the close people. But other than that, I don't think. And I think that's what his father said he's gonna do this year, was get the kids together and like they just have like a Halloween party at the house. So, I don't know, but I will be here with my little fur baby, most likely. I guess if...
They're going to give him a little costume from Amazon? No. A little something to put on? Oh, animals are just so cute.
He is absolutely going to tear the fuck out that shit.
Oh, absolutely.
It will go on him in 2 seconds, that should be...
Absolutely.
It's shredded.
So cute.
Maybe next year.
A little bow tie. It is kind of late in the game, but still, like a little bow tie.
We're gonna be at the house chilling, watching scary movies, probably. So I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea. I saw something that I thought I wanted to do. Something on a boat, but then I realized I don't want to do that.
Oh, that was definitely gonna be cold.
Yeah, but I just didn't.
What is it?
It's something. I think Spirit of Norfolk was doing something.
Really?
I think so. It was something
like a specific theme or something?
Just Halloween, I think. But it was something in Norfolk. And so I was like, nah, yeah, I don't want to do that either. Too many people for my liking. In an enclosed space. So that was a no for me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll hang out with my boo or something. Or hang out with my fur baby. And again, watch scary movies.
Or maybe both.
Or maybe both. Yeah.
Yo, boo? Okay. You specifically talk about people. Yo, boo, Velvet. Yo.
Anyway. But my boo did meet, my fur baby's name is T'Challa.
T'Challa.
But yeah, did meet T'Challa on Monday.
Oh, okay. How did he handle T'Challa? Because since he's such a ball.
Who, T'Challa?
Yeah, how did your boo handle T'Challa?
Good. He got 2 pits.
I'm still telling you, it's a whole different breed with a puppy.
Yeah. No, he raised the 2 from puppies. So he was giving me pointers. I was like, all right, cool. No, they was over there chilling. T'Challa even was laying on him, like calm and stuff. And I said, oh, I guess you like him, huh? And he was like, yes, dogs love me. And I said, whatever. But, yeah, that's really about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be getting my niece and my goddaughter, taking them trick-or-treating.
Oh, have fun with that. This sounds like something else.
I've always taken my goddaughter, so every year I'm taking a kid trick-or-treating. So she's going to be aging out of it soon. She turns, what are we, in 2011? She turns 11 this year. I think the cutoff's 12. Maybe, so next year's probably her last year that she'll be able to do it, so.
Well, hope you have fun. Sorry. It's the no sleep with a puppy. My bad, didn't mean it. But I did. But yeah. What was I trying to think of? Oh, so, before we move forward, when I was in Tennessee, I've never been to Tennessee. Have you been to Tennessee?
Yes, but I was like around on the military area.
Okay. So I went to Tennessee, and I wasn't sure what to expect because never been there. I was like, it's probably going to be similar to like North Carolina, I thought. Like, country. That's basic, right? No?
So like what type of country? Like just like fields? Or like people there are specifically country?
Both. I just felt like it was going to be all of that.
Real strong accents and stuff like
Some
that.
people definitely did.
With boots and cowboy hats.
Yes, all of that. And then, so I went with my best friend. His cousin was getting married, and so we're all in this hotel. One, the alcohol is cheaper than here. I was just like, what the fuck? You know how many bottles I got?
I thought we had a conversation about.
I got 4 bottles of wine, and I got remember that Uncle Nearest that I was telling you about? I got the one under the one I had before. I think it's 84. I think is the bottle I had before, and I've been looking for the 56, and then I think the 20 something. Can I find the 20 something? Like I literally legit went in the store looking for these bottles. I was like, they have to have it. They had the 56, so I got that. And so, but what's so fucking funny is my best friend's on the phone with his brother because his brother's coming into town for the wedding, and I don't think he's seen him since the beginning of COVID. And so he's like, what do you want to do to take shots? I'm on the other side, like maybe halfway at the store, and he's on this side. And so I hear some man talking about oh, you want to take shots? This is just so this Caucasian male comes around, like literally. So I'm here, my best friend is here. He comes, I think he was about to leave the store, I can't remember, but literally comes around like these boxes and like peeks his head around. You want to take shots? And I just like turn and I'm just looking like, what the fuck is this? And so my best friend's on the phone like, his brother said, who is that? And he's like, I don't know, some man saying something about shots. He was like, okay. And so the man was like, oh, if you want to take shots, how much you trying to spend though? Like he literally was apparently the alcohol connoisseur of he said, if you want to spend like $500, there's a bottle over here. And like he is really into it. And Aaron, well, Aaron is looking like, I'm confused on what's going on. I was having a conversation.
My personal shopper for alcohol?
Yeah, I think he was just confused because he was just like, it was a normal, hey, yeah, what do you want to drink for blah, blah, blah. And then the dude, like,
did I hear someone say alcohol?
Yeah, basically. And I could not stop fucking laughing in the corner. And so I'm just looking over there like, this shit has to be hilarious. And so he looks up, my best friend looks over at me, and I just...
Not part of this. I don't know you.
But then I walk over after I'm done finding my stuff, and he's like, well, if you don't want the $500 bottle, you can get this, or this, or this, or this. And like, he's just grabbing bottles, and I'm just like, this shit is crazy. This shit, it was funny to me. But I just had to tell this story.
$500.
Bottle, exactly. And my best friend's like, no, I don't think we want that bottle. But my best friend drank half the goddamn bottle that night, which leads to a whole different story. Drinks half.
Not shocked, but
half the bottle, and because he was like, don't let me drink more than half because it's supposed to be for him and his brother, which wasn't coming till the next day. And I was like, all right, I got you. So I'm drinking wine. So I was like, I'm not getting fucked up tonight. I'm gonna wait till the wedding night to get fucked up. Mm-hmm. And which also didn't occur. But so we there it is. So we're in like the lobby area of the hotel. There's these group of people that was already there, like they were talking and stuff. And then we get there and we're playing my game, the one with the words on it, the letters that you weren't really good at, and then you start sipping, and then your ass was hitting them. What's the fuck?
That's it's not Bark card.
Not that one. Damn, what the fuck is it called? It's something. But basically, you have the card. There's letters or acronyms on one side, and then the words on the other side.
Like WTF will be on the card. On the back of it, it'd be like, you have to guess, like, what the fuck.
Yes, but I can't think of the name of it right now. But yes, so we were playing that game because his family's never played it. So obviously, we are getting a little loud. The receptionist. Well, let me ask you. If people are getting loud and you are the receptionist, what would you do?
And you're all just in the main lobby?
Yep, so it's us and a group of people behind us is not with us. They were there prior to us. They were loud as well during certain parts. And then we get there and, we're just talking normal. Then we decide to play the game and we're getting a little loud. So we're not like when you walk in, not in that lobby, but the area where like they serve the breakfast stuff. That
okay.
part.
So this isn't like this area is not like a bar-esque type thing.
It's just a bunch of chairs and stuff. Like if you were going to a restaurant without the real food, it's just a sit-down area basically.
Okay. Because I try to not engage in that as much as possible.
But you're the receptionist.
I understand. That's probably why I wouldn't be a receptionist. That kind of stuff, anxiety triggering.
So, okay, let me rephrase it. How would you tell them?
I mean, you would. I understand you guys are enjoying yourselves, but given that this is the area people are trying to come in and check in, we're trying to make sure we're communicating. I would, maybe just either be a little quieter or maybe suggest another area they could go to in order to be at the volume they're at. I would blame it on, people are trying to check in. I appreciate the time y'all having. Y'all seem like y'all having a real good time. But like, we had like a 10. Let's just maybe like a 6.
So that's not what happened.
Oh, okay.
So
shut the fuck up. Oh. It sounds like you've had a spectrum of Tennessee.
That's basically he didn't even come over like to us and was like, quietly, or he was like, hey, blah blah blah, can y'all just none of that. He stood right in front of the receptionist part. Again, it's not like it's right here. So maybe like he's there and we're here. So he's where my couch is and we are in this area. And so he stands there. Well, he comes around the thing, but he basically stands in front of it and he's like, can y'all just shut up? Y'all are very loud over there. And everyone, like, stops And I just look because I'm like, I don't know what is, because all I see is my best friend's uncle that's sitting beside me, and then my best friend's aunt's husband. And this is my first time meeting the uncle, but I've met the husband before. The husband is a big dude. The uncle he's not really big, like he's probably a little bit muscular, but you know. And so I'm looking, and so I look at my best friend. He's sitting this way, and I'm like, I don't know what's about to happen because you could tell that the atmosphere has officially changed. I'm like, oh, I think I want to go to the room. I just don't know what's about to happen. So the uncle stands up, and so he starts walking to the receptionist. Then the husband stands up, and he starts walking to the receptionist. And I'm like, I don't think it's gonna go well. I don't think this is gonna go well at all. And so I'm like looking, but like texting in my phone. And so I'm texting my best friend, like, I don't know if this is gonna go well. Should we go to the room? And so the uncle goes over there. He's like, I'm not sure what the problem is, especially because the people that were there before us, they literally had just left, was louder than we were. And you didn't say nothing to them. The thing is, the people that were there were Caucasian. Mm-hmm. We were all black. They were loud as fuck. Like even before,
receptionist is
Caucasian.
Okay.
So they were loud as fuck because even before we got there, we could hear them down the hall. Like me and my best friend's room was all the way down the hall. We could hear them coming up. But it's fucking Friday night, and this shit was 8 p.m. So it's not even like it's 12 a.m. or 2 a.m. Bitch, it's 8.
Right. What hotel was this?
I have no. I didn't pay for it, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say the wrong one, so I don't know.
Gotcha.
It's something. Like it's supposed to be like a nice hotel. I would have to say I feel like the Hilton, but I don't know if that's right. Mm-hmm. But you know, it's one of those hotels that you think is going to be really nice inside because it's a known name, but then when you get inside, it's not. I don't know what that, but basically that's what it was. Because when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be nice." But when you get it, it was very mediocre. I was very surprised. I've stayed there. I feel like it's Hilton, but I've stayed there. Yeah, but they were there before us, loud as fuck, and nothing was said. So we get there again. At the beginning, we're quiet, and then we start playing the game. We do get loud, and we understand. All right, we loud, but you don't have to be rude, and you definitely don't have to tell us to shut the fuck up. Like you could have just said, "You being loud, can y'all be quiet?"
That was very bold.
Yes, and yes.
And how old did he look?
40s-ish. I'm going to say 40s-ish. And so the uncle goes over and is like, I'm not sure what the problem is. Like, we want respect just like you. All you had to do was come over and tell us that we were being loud, and we definitely would have been quiet or went outside or, you know, anything of that nature. But the way you handled that was very disrespectful. And there were words had. And so you could tell that the receptionist was not liking the way that he was being spoken to, even though the uncle was not being rude or calling him names or anything. He just really, I thought it was going to be a different situation. But when he went over, he was very calm and just like, you didn't have to do that. You could be respectful and blah, blah, blah. And then so he was doing a whole thing. And he was like, I just don't get it. And he said, I just want you to know that I literally know the mayor and I literally know the sheriff, and so you're trying to say that we're doing something wrong when we're not, and all you had to do was it. Like, it was a whole thing, and I just was like, I don't like it. And I think it's just because literally, I think in the whole hotel, there were very few black people, and it literally was the wedding party people. Everybody else was not, so it was a bunch. So when it started to occur, when he was yelling, people started to like come. It was like a whole thing. I felt very uncomfortable.
Damn.
Like I was very uncomfortable. And I was like, I don't like this. And you know, I didn't have my thing on me. I was like, I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. And I was like, all right, I think it's time for me to go ahead. So me and my best friend, after a while, we just went back to the room.
God, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
People are assholes.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, it was just a very uncomfortable situation because I just really didn't know where the vibe was going to go, and I just didn't know what was going to happen. I just did not want to be involved.
It's just so fucking rude.
It is.
Like, there was no common courtesy, decency, no backpedaling even after they were approached, like you were rude.
No.
Like, the audacity, the privilege, the audacity, the privilege, the audacity. Just fucking.
We sat there for a little bit longer, and we didn't play because we just didn't. Like, I think maybe we did one more thing, and then I was like, yeah, let's just not. Let's not do anything else. So we just sat there and talked and stuff. But I just like it. Literally, I think it was 8 when we first got down there, or 8:30, and then when this all occurred, I think it was like 9. It literally was not later than 10 p.m. when all this is occurring. So it's not even past technically the noise complaint time.
Right.
Everybody's just having a good time. And he tried to say, well, people were complaining the rooms are all the way down the hall. And we weren't louder than the people that were there before us.
My God.
So it was just a lot. And I just was like, oh, this is
like,
not
how
fun.
unhappy do you have to be in your life to just, like...
Be rude as fuck like that? Yeah. Especially you're the receptionist. You're supposed to represent the hotel. And that's not how that's supposed to go.
Sir, give me a corporate card. Someone need to hear about
Well, he definitely asked for the manager stuff. And then we were supposed to have a king size bed, which it was not. And so my best friend was like, well, should we tell him? And I said, that's 100% up to you, because you pay for the room, so that's 100% up to you. I'm not in it. And so he was like, all right, well, we're supposed to have a king size. It's not. He was like, well, it is a king size bed. And my best friend was like, but it really isn't. And so he was like, how do you know? And I was like, well, my bed's a king size bed. And literally, so normally we try to get 2 separate beds, but they didn't have any left, so we had a king size bed. And whenever that occurs, there's enough space where we aren't touching each other. On this bed, we were literally touching each other. His ass was on my ass. And I said, this is not a king size bed, because we can sleep on my bed, and there's a whole goddamn space. He said, I have to crawl across her bed to get to the other side. He said, I don't have to do that. I just lay, and I'm here. And he was like, it's a king size. And he was like, you know what? I'm just going to get off the phone with you. It was just a whole, bless you. Bless you. But yes, anyways, I just had to tell you how that was my least favorite part of the weekend.
So, what was your overall impression of Tennessee? How did you like it overall? Gotcha.
It's not my cup of tea.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like, at least that part. We weren't in Nashville or anything like that where it's not country. Well, country is not bad as long as there's more things to do. But it was there wasn't a lot to do at all. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, all right, we're going to do something. And he was like, well, there's not really much to do here except for do drugs and have sex. And I was like, well, I'm not doing 1 or 2. So I guess that leaves me doing nothing.
I'm just making my own party.
Basically, so that's why I went and got my nails done, found a dog, drank some. That was about it.
You definitely filled your time.
Yep. Ate some food. Oh, that part. Terrible.
That's so disappointing. I'm so sorry.
Like, it was not good. The only thing that was good, I had a salad. It sounds crazy. Maybe it's just because I was hungry. But have you ever had a salad so good, like the crunch of the lettuce was just, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That shit was like that. And I said, this is some good ass.
That's how I feel about California Pizza Kitchen salad.
That's how it be? Oh, I don't think I've had one of their salads.
I love their salad.
But it was literally like I was like, oh, this is okay. I was like, you can bring me one of these again. Because I tried to eat the ribs, and I thought it was going to be busting. Ooh, bitch won't bust.
Executing ribs at a wedding?
No, not a wedding. This one at the wedding. At the wedding, they had pulled pork, pulled chicken, macaroni and cheese, beans, and potato salad. I didn't eat it.
I don't want to eat none of that while, for one, I'm dressed up. Because if I get any of that on that, because that's
that
all
outfit,
food. I'm
going
to be pissed.
Well, potato salad, not too bad, but the beans, all bad. I won't even touch that. Especially because basically, I think the bathrooms are like I don't want to say outhouse, but I think they've dressed it up. Like, it wasn't like an outhouse like back in the day. But I'm trying to think, like, if you... Yeah, I'm trying to think of something similar.
So it wasn't connected to the building?
Oh, no. It was apart from the building. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell no.
It wasn't far. It was probably like, if this is the building, then maybe where, like, you park your car.
That's a no for me.
Yeah, I didn't use
I'm
bathroom.
not leaving the building to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and it was dark outside. But the wedding was gorgeous, except it was cold as fuck. This is outside. The wedding's outside. And so, I had my outfit on. I stole my best friend's jacket because it was cold. I was like, oh, I can't handle it. This is not for my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. But the scenery was gorgeous. There was like there was water behind them and a little fountain stuff pouring out. And then that was gorgeous. And the outfits were wonderful. Like, all of that was pretty. It was just super cold. I was like, oh, it's so fucking cold. It's so fucking cold. I was freezing. I was so freezing. But that was cool, and then I was hungry, but I decided not to eat any of that food, and then we went and got food afterwards, and that's where the food was trash, and I just had the salad. I gave my ribs away, and then we got back to the hotel, and we were supposed to be staying up to drink and stuff, but best friend fell asleep. I was talking to the boo on the phone, and I fell asleep.
Yeah. That's devastating.
It was. And then it was the next day for us to go home.
Well.
And they were like, y'all went to sleep early? I was like, oh, I guess so, yeah.
Be like that.
Yeah. But yeah, that was weekends and fun time stuff. But I just had to tell that story because I just thought Tennessee was crazy.
Yeah, you had a roller coaster of interactions in there.
Mm-hmm. They definitely were looking. A lot of people were looking at me. I don't think I liked it. I feel like people were staring at me. You know, you ever go somewhere and you feel people's eyes on you? That's how I felt. And I was like, I don't think I like this at all. And so every time I would just, like...
It's so crazy. I feel like maybe because we're in it all the time, we don't understand how diverse Virginia is.
Definitely, absolutely is. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Compared to Tennessee, abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. To be honest, I don't think I saw many ethnic people there outside of people there that were there for like the wedding. The person that did my nails was, but other than that, like, I didn't really see many ethnic people. And I was like, damn. And that's what I thought too. I was like, Virginia is really diverse. Like, I turned a corner and there's at least 18 different types of people. Here it's just, it was a lot of white people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so it was whatever. But the weather wasn't horrible, so that was cool. Outside of, again, the wedding was at like 5, so it was getting colder, you know. I think if they had it during the day, it would have been the sun out. But it was, by the time we left, I think it was like 9 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was that. Wow, we talked a lot about that. My bad, y'all.
No, because I ain't have a lot on the docket to be talking about. So,
except for some tragedies you want to talk about, Chip.
Yeah. So Alec Baldwin, he had a incident where he had a prop gun on the set of the movie. It's called Rust. And I think he is like a executive producer and like a star of it. And I think it's like a country west type movie. But he was given a prop gun by one of like the prop masters, and was told that it was a cold gun, which means it's not loaded. And I don't know under the circumstances of which or why he fired the gun. I'm not sure if it was like a scene or because he thought it was a cold gun, like he was just using it and like messing with it. But essentially, he let off the prop gun, and the prop gun killed the cinematographer and injured the director. Initially, there wasn't many details surrounding what it was loaded with, because it can be loaded with blanks, which doesn't necessarily take the deadliness out of it. It just isn't filled with the ammunition powder, the gunpowder, and the actual round itself. But it can still definitely, injure someone.
Because the force of it is still,
Right. But afterwards, it was determined that it was a live round that was in the gun.
So who the fuck was lying?
It was the same person that I believe that handed him is the person who's in charge of that.
So how the fuck you not know it was a live gun? You didn't check it.
Right. And there's been some allegations that he worked on some Hulu, like there was a Hulu series called In the Dark, and it's like a few movies that they've made.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a horror movies, and there were a lot of allegations against him on those sets.
The other dude, the one that the prop person.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Allegations made against him of like not making sure, like there was like emergency exits that were blocked on sets. There were never any type
So
of
that's your only
safety
job
meetings.
is safety. How the fuck? And that's the most important one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for the family.
Absolutely.
I feel bad for him because he really didn't think that, and then you unfortunately killed someone. That has to be horrifying.
There was someone very shocking, very disgusting. She's a anchor for Fox News. Her name is escaping me, but she tweeted that it was poetic justice that Alec Baldwin killed the person with the gun, being that Alec Baldwin made so much fun of Trump while he was in office.
What does that have to do with anything? Those two things do not align.
Absolutely not.
Ma'am, you are stupid. Get the
Absolutely
fuck off. That don't.
And she's a main predominant person that.
Is it?
Unfortunately,
no, came from my head too.
I don't know her name, but unfortunately, she's
the Caucasian lady with the blonde hair.
No,
oh, not that one.
She's a black Republican,
bitch,
and she tends to make a lot of comments towards it, and it's just unfortunate because her being a black anchor who is a Republican.
But they don't. But the two do not. The correlation don't go to. How is it poetic justice that he killed someone on a set? What does that have to do with Trump?
Gun rights.
But that is a prop, bitch.
Yes.
That is a prop. It's not even like so.
Yes.
Those are two separate things. It'd be different if he shot someone in his house. Then okay, then maybe you could align. But that is a prop gun that is supposed to not be loaded. That was.
Because I guess it's like they say Democrats are anti-guns. Democrats don't want
not
to
everybody.
have gun rights, or trying to strip it away at some point. I mean, that's the general
the consensus of it.
Label that's put on. So I guess her saying that him killing someone at the end of a gun is poetic justice because of X, Y, Z element of P. Again, doesn't necessarily make any sense. You're absolutely correct. She definitely deleted afterwards, but she still stood on her 10 toes down about it. But it was just, and what's interesting is that, not interesting, but just the young lady who died, she had a husband and a child, I think a 9-year-old, and the father of the woman who died released a statement saying that he at no point holds Alec Baldwin, the actor, responsible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's the prop master.
Absolutely, and they about to sue the fuck out of him. Mm-hmm. Well, it's also going to be Alec Baldwin because he's the
Could you imagine the type of guilt and the type? Mm-hmm. I mean, well, he's not in charge of any of that.
But I thought he was.
But I don't know.
I thought you said he was doing something else.
He is an executive producer, but I don't know to what extent that is intertwined with hiring
the people.
Someone competent to do. Like I said, it sounds like he's done other stuff, especially since he did with Hulu. Mm-hmm. They're in the Dark series, which they do have a couple movies on there that are actually pretty good. But nonetheless,
that's crazy, sir. Do a better job. I'll come and do it.
It's just unfortunate, would almost say that's probably like somewhere for set positions, like how like anesthesiologists, I definitely don't think they're on par, but because you have a higher risk that you're taking on in that position, I'm pretty sure they might get paid a nice little pretty penny.
Yeah. That's very sad, and my condolences to the family and the one that's also injured. Hopefully,
they've been released from the hospital since I think they had a couple days stay as a result of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Do we know where she was shot? The one that was killed?
No, they haven't released any details about that. And what ended up coming from that is like them talking about like the history of like wounds like that, specifically ending in death as a result of like a prop gun. I didn't realize Bruce Lee's son in the 90s, Brandon Lee, was killed he wasn't killed on set. He was injured on set by a prop gun, later died due to his injury. And then there was one more in the 80s that someone had died from a gunshot wound from a prop gun.
So I'm just are people really not checking these things? So now there might have to be like, how you have a 2-part authentication when you sign into Google and stuff. Apparently needs to be a 2-part authentication for these motherfucking guns.
I think over time they have also instituted safer precautions with the guns. Like, probably before they may have been using like live rounds, and then at some point like, okay, this isn't safe to be doing this on a set. And then it went over to blanks, and then at a point they started maybe even scaling back in the situations in which you use blanks, and it become more of a digital and a special effects type thing. So I think over time it's like a learning curve of these unfortunate situations.
That's very sad.
It is. See where and ultimately through their investigation, I would be very interested to know under what the circumstances were that he fired the gun.
Yeah.
Like, was it a scene? Was it him just testing it out, being that he believed it to be completely unloaded? Because even at the same time, because also apparently you're supposed to notify the entire cast when a gun is coming on set, and he didn't. The guy also didn't do that.
So Alec Baldwin's not supposed to. The prop master.
Yes, prop master's supposed to make the entire set now. So, but then also that also comes into play. Like, even if you're not filming an actual scene, you should be handling every gun like it is loaded, it is active. So why are you not making sure your set is moving in that capacity? He's not filming for a scene. Why is the gun in his hand? Why is he using it to do X, Y, Z? If that shouldn't be the safety precautions that you guys are using. Yeah. So there's a lot of things.
And stuff they need to ask themselves and make sure. And apparently more training needs to be made. I just don't know. Yeah.
And apparently they had just recently, just before this happened, the crew walked off set due to like work conditions. Whether it be hours, pay, what have you. So that set was having a lot of issues even coming up to that. So, but yes, as stated, prayers, condolences, and hopefully, it's tragic that it's at situations that this arise from, but the safety for everyone is taken way more seriously, and that there are standards being put in by like either the movie commissioner or what have you to make sure
that everything is handled properly. Yeah.
Right.
Damn, that sucks, huh?
Yep. But on from that, we promised you guys last episode, after deep diving the F out of On My Block.
Oh my God, yeah.
That we was going.
I forgot all about this. Now I'm gonna have to remember. Dear White People.
We were gonna spin the block again, come back around and get Dear White People.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, in Dear White People.
Yes. This is the last season.
Last season. And what they did here is they did like a future thing, but they kept doing flashbacks, which Fee Baby does not like.
I remember texting you because first for me, just to start off with, it was very slow picking for me. It took a lot of my attention. I'm like, I don't know if I'm cool with this build-up. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be
But overall.
So I texted you and I was like, okay, first of all, I don't like the flashback, like the time hop thing, and it's real slim. Like, just keep with it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna pick up. And after a while, they stopped doing the bounce back so much. Like, it was sprinkled in there, and they were more focused on the past pieces instead of like the futuristic part. Yeah. And it definitely did. It brought full circle. It gave what it was supposed to do.
That end.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember everything. The end is what has stuck in my head. So
it starts off with Lionel and Sam. Yes, Lionel and Sam first get together in the future piece of it, and they discuss things that happened in their senior year of college, and they start slowly.
We need to point
they do have some musical pieces in there. It is fitting because the majority of them are in the setting of them doing a play.
Yes,
there's not many of them just like bursting into song, because that was another thing I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna like it.
It were very few of those.
Yes, and it was under the circumstances of them being in a play. But so it first starts with Sam and Lionel, and you can tell there's a lot of animosity between them early on, like something has transpired in their senior year that we need to learn about later. Yes. And then they start sprinkling in other castmates And this is all being done being Zoom. Like the majority of all this
because
future,
of COVID, or well, I don't think they say COVID, but basically it's like they have on masks and stuff in the future, so it's basically the COVID.
Yeah. So the majority of them, they're calling in on Zoom meetings, stuff like that, and it starts to show Sam isn't the what is the name of the association they were in college? I'm trying to think. But she seems to she kind of distanced herself.
Oh, the Black Caucus?
The Black Caucus. She seemed to distance herself a little bit in the beginning of the senior year. What was it she was starting to kind of focus on? She was real heavy on, she started, Dear White People got canceled.
She was focused on her...
and started doing like film.
Yes, her film, which...
for a documentary of some sort.
Ended up being the problem between her and Lionel.
Yes. Yes.
Because... basically, she needed to film stuff that was real, and so she was going to film around the play that Phoebe was talking about, the musical play, but it ended up being that she found that Lionel was the more interesting of everything.
Yes.
So she started filming him, and he kept saying, like, I don't want to be the focus of it, and she kept saying, okay, you're not going to be...
Well, I feel like an important piece there is, like, him dealing with being a black male and being gay.
Yes.
Because of the relationship that he had, he's always put, his gender and race above his sexuality. Like that was something that he never included as being a part of him. And during this time she was filming, his relationship was coming to introducing people to him.
And introducing his significant other at that time to his family. Which he kept telling his aunt, was the aunt right? Aunt that he was gay, but she just
thought it was like a phase. So every time he'd come home for this holidays, she started asking about girls. Like, but
and this time he brought his boyfriend and he brought Sam, and so the aunt thought Sam. Well, I'm quite sure she really didn't think it, but she was hoping that Sam was Lionel's boo, but instead it was. Not remembering his name.
His significant other.
Yes. And then that was a whole thing, but apparently his significant other is terrible at writing.
I need to bring up names because we're just going to start bringing in names and I don't remember all the names.
Oh, yeah, I definitely don't remember. Well, I remember some of them, but yes. But the significant other is terrible writer, and he just did not want to tell him because he was supposed to be helping him write for the play, but he just didn't want that to ruin his relationship. So he just,
and that was something that Sam was focusing in on as well.
She recorded their basically breakup at Thanksgiving time, and he was like, "Are you gonna use that? I really don't want you to use that. What did I tell you?" And she was like, "No." But the bitch ended up using it.
So that's where
their
deterioration
split.
I don't remember Troy having a terribly well. No, they dive into his parents' relationship.
Oh yeah. And because I couldn't remember why the mother was never there, and so I was like, oh wow, okay, now I understand. But yeah, Troy's mom was never there. She left, I think, when he was young, 9 or 12. And so basically Troy was raised by his father, and she went off basically doing, her stuff. She's an artist, so she does paintings or sculptures or some shit. And so she was off living her best life, and she would come visit. The father is still in love with her, so whenever she came and visit, basically he felt like there was hope. There was none. It wasn't. And so Troy was like, why are you letting her do this to you? And he never really liked the relationship between the father and the mother, and he never really had one with his mother. She attempted to have one, but really she just was, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I don't even know.
It also seems she only came into like the scene when it was beneficial to her to interact with him.
Correct.
Because she came back around for the play that they were putting on.
Correct, and it was him that was putting it on because he started the magazine or whatever. Remember, Chicken Fry.
It was something like that.
Chicken something. Why can I not think of it? Girl, you got to think of it. No.
I just have the cast names pulled up.
Chicken fried or fried chicken. Fried chickenary or some shit like that.
Sounds about right.
It was something like that. Fried chicken fried rary, something chicken rary.
Airy is in there somewhere.
And chicken is too, and
yes.
for airy. What is it? It's gonna get me. Continue talking while I figure it out.
Okay, so that was Troy's line, and then there was Calandria, Coco. For the majority of the last season, she was a part of something that was kind of like Big Brother, where she was a part of a reality show.
Oh, that shit was funny. And that fine man was in it. God damn.
And she's in it with like some people that she knows, but one of them, what's her name, Bunny or something, was like her best friend that, you know, they actually showed in earlier seasons, and they showed the extent of like tearing each other down, bringing up like past like storylines for each other, and for the most part, Calandria was trying to play a fair game, but the friend that she had was like trying to like white woman tears everything and to gain sympathy from everyone in order for her to win the show, essentially. What's real sad is that Calandria was essentially forced into exposing or like telling her truth about like her having an abortion in order to, because that was going to be something that her friend was going to try to use against her in the end to make her seem like she's the villain. But Calandria was like, no, I'm going to take this narrative, I'm going to make it mine. Right. So, but also at the same time, Troy realized that Calandria became pregnant off of them having sex, and she aborted the baby, which he had no idea about. So, and then she kind of let him know that that was her choice to make, XYZ, when they came face to face later. But one of the more interesting was Joelle and Reggie. So they start by bringing Joelle on, you know, the Zoom meeting that they have in the future, and when she first comes up on the screen, there's a mention of Reggie. And she goes, well, I can't talk about him, or he can't come right now.
So she said that, I thought you were calling to talk about Reggie. And they were like, no, we wanted to talk about you. And she was like, oh, okay.
So for the full season, pretty much, there's no, Reggie doesn't meet or speak with them at all in the future. Yeah. There are a lot of flashbacks to, you know, him in the past. He seems to be, you know, engaging more with embracing himself, his blackness, wanting to develop software that helps minorities, specifically black people, in like areas, like almost like a Yelp review. Like, is this place safe for us to be at? And that's the main focal point for him for the majority of the season, along with his relationship with Joelle. Like, them two kind of being on different paths and trying to understand how they can still be together.
Because Joelle had a 3.9, and she was she wasn't really happy with I think she got an A- or some shit. But she was also doing an internship. And she was also, what was the other thing she was doing? The play, because she was the only one who could sing.
Because she wants like the picture, like what is it? The picture perfect, like successful husband, successful wife, children, you know, just the whole
Reggie
package.
Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he wants to pursue what he wants to pursue, and whatever it is will be. Yeah. He just wants to be happy and wants to know that he lived in his truth. The entire time. Yeah. So, and they try to like throw it off and kind of seem like he may be looking to, because him and Joelle were not on the same page.
And even though he proposed.
Right. But it also seems like he indicated at that moment he felt, while he wants to marry her, they were in the midst of a very volatile like argument, right? Like pretty much like, we're going to end this shit type argument.
Basically.
And he was like, well, I'm going to go to an extreme to make sure I keep what we have. And he proposed to her. Yeah. But he felt like at that moment it was more pressure to do so. Yeah. Versus the authenticity of the moment. Yeah. So they kind of show this other woman that kind of comes up as on the same kind of like wavelength as he is. And is also questioning.
She was the older version of Sam. Like when Season 1 Sam, that's the one you're talking about, right?
She was the younger version of Sam. You said older version.
Like older, like the older version, because Sam is a different type of person now.
The past version. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
like a past version of Sam, like the first season type Sam, like radical and rah. Yeah, that is basically who she was now.
And it seemed to be like what should entice Reggie.
Yeah, correct.
She's also checking him, questioning him. Are you really for the cause? Because the entire play
and helping him
with his software stuff, because she's a designer, a digital designer.
Yeah.
So she even gets to the point which Joel at a point feels threatened by. He and her go to like a gun range.
Yes.
And it's in this moment he kind of takes back the fear that he has of guns from the blackface party that they went to, and he was by an officer. Yeah. So it's kind of in this moment that like he takes power over that and no longer lets it control him. And Joel was like, well, you did that with her. Why not with me? Why didn't you talk to me about it? Why didn't you feel like you could confide in me about it? So it's like in this moment this woman seems to be a divide between them.
And I was getting upset. I'm not even gonna lie. I was getting upset.
Right.
And I was like, you better not never. Yo, better. I was like, you better not.
So there's that, and it continues to. So there was Zoom meeting in the future, and then slowly people one by one in that they're present are showing up to Sam's house. Is it Sam's? Someone's house.
I don't know.
Because Sam was there first.
Yeah, but I don't think it's Sam's house. I think it's Troy's. But I don't know. Because I think towards the end they were like, how are you going to invite us all here and something. So I think it's Troy's, but don't put me on that.
So each of them arrive one by one, and they're kind of, talking in this circle of chairs.
Oh, we forgot. Sam and her boo broke up.
Yeah.
Because he was doing some film, and she was not liking that he was doing the film.
And the light that he was portraying, or I'm trying to, what was it about? What was the film about?
Jesus. And I think it was the way that he was portraying it, and the boyfriend was basically broke, and so his uncle was super rich and was like, hey, if you make this film, I'll give you money so you can finish school, because he wasn't really doing school. And the uncle and that side of the family is
racist.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a different word, but yeah, that's all I could think of. It's racist, and he was going to go meet the family by himself, but Sam was like, well, I want to go. And I was like, do you though?
I mean, you kind of have to, because you kind of got to scope out what you're going to be dealing with if you're going to be with someone long term.
True. Yeah, but I knew that relationship was going to work. Like, at that age, because they were on two different, even though he is down for the cause, they were still on two different levels of life at that time. Maybe when they get older or whatever and they go through it, but at that time, it wasn't going to work out. And they just kept trying to force it, and you could tell that it just won't happen. But yep, she goes to the house with the family, meets his uncle, aunt, and I think the kids. One of the kids seemed like he was cool. I think he just was like, I don't give a fuck. But I think the grandma was there. She was like, who brought this? What did she say?
Oh, I don't remember.
Something, but basically this black person into the house. And then they had black, what's it called? Why can't I think of it? Servants.
Oh, yeah.
They had black servants. The black servants was looking at Sam like, what the fuck? And so that was a whole interesting thing.
Right.
And I had to think, like, what would I do if I was in that situation? I'll probably walk right back out. I just, like, that's, I feel like it's very uncomfortable. Like, one, you're not going to be able to talk much, because what are you going to talk about?
Right.
And so, as you could tell, that's basically what happened. Sam was trying to say something, and he basically was over-talking Sam. And then they got into Sam and her boyfriend got into an argument because she basically was like, why you ain't in there defending yourself or whatever. He was like, everything doesn't have to be a fight and blah, 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 blah. And so that's went separate. But yeah, go ahead.
So all of this, we mentioned the musical, the play, all of it is leading up to the night of the play. Now, a big thing that was going on that kind of divided the students, specifically the black students, was where the play was being held at.
Yeah.
It was at a building named after a white man who had slaves. And so obviously that's very problematic, but this was the first time that black people, specifically Black Caucus, was going to be in control of this event.
Correct. So they were trying to basically say, we can't get all of it this time, but maybe just we are able to control, it. So yeah.
Right. So the night, I don't think we're missing anything. So one other thing before going into the night of the actual play is at the end of every episode, there was a person that they were focusing on. At first, you really couldn't tell who it was, and at first, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really focusing on them. I thought it was just music being played over something, so I didn't pay heavy attention.
The first time I was very confused. Yeah, I was very confused. So I think the first time the person was in a car, and I thought it was Sam's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because it was the only white man that's really in the show, and I was like, okay, it's her boyfriend. And then you kept seeing things, and then you saw the person like playing whatever the foot thing is. What's that foot?
Hacky sack?
Yep, that. And then I think playing something else. Was he playing a guitar at one point or some shit? I don't know. Like, he was doing different things, like sitting there writing. And I was like, okay, I am intrigued but kind of confused on what this has to do with anything. And then I understood.
You start seeing it as a white man who we don't know who they are.
Correct.
You start singing trench coats.
Yep.
Then you see a gun.
Yep.
And it's not like a handgun.
No, baby.
It's
that was
rifle.
a whole.
It was a longer gun. And you start seeing him being incorporated into the actual show. Because up until that point, maybe if you watch back, maybe you might see him. Now that you see him like towards the end and understand who he is, maybe you might spot him in the earlier part of the season.
Maybe, yeah, but he didn't talk.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes it very clear that he's going to be shooting, doing a what is the word I'm looking for? A mass shooting, essentially. And so you start seeing things line up. Reggie's no longer present again in the future up until this point, until you realize who this man is in the end credits. And then you also see that Reggie was doing the gun training up until. So at this point, you are left to your own devices until the end to figure out where Reggie fits into all this.
Yeah, and also Reggie's app is live, where it tells you what's safe or if you don't feel safe. So that's the key part, because that's when the man with the gun was going around asking people, where is this Black Caucus thing, which is the musical that was going on, where's that going to be at? And so someone had like messaged in the app that Reggie built, like, there's a strange man, and they took pictures of him, and he was actually getting a little hostile, like, why are you taking pictures of me? I can't just ask where y'all are going and blah blah blah. So he was being a little hostile, and so in the app,
very hostile.
Yeah, and in the app, Reggie is they are sending pictures of him and saying, hey, he's asking where this is going to be at, blah blah blah. And then that's when Reggie
goes outside ahead of everybody. So there was a so whether or not he knew everything, because Troy kind of flipped everything about how the ending of the play was.
Correct.
He was able to.
I don't think it was the end. Was it the end of it?
They thought. I guess they thought it was like the wrapping of it. Well,
yes, but
the ending of it was them. What do they do? Yes. So he got everyone mobile and out into the front to bring more awareness to the problematicness of them performing
in the
building. And so right before everyone headed out, Reggie went out ahead of everyone and made direct eye contact with this white guy, and then as soon as he makes eye contact, everyone just starts coming out the building and separates Reggie and him. And Joelle then comes, because she goes to look for Reggie, comes direct into eyesight between the group, the white guy, and Reggie. And so right after that, you hear the gunshot. You hear a gunshot, and
she sees Reggie with a gun, because she didn't know, and she saw Reggie pull up the gun, and she's like, what are you doing? And then you hear a gunshot, and you're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Fucks of all fucks.
And then at this point is when Reggie becomes, so you don't see what happens, who shot what, who was shot. Reggie then becomes present in the future.
Because, bitch, do you understand? I thought he died or was in jail. Because, we forgot this part, because before that part, the graduation. And he didn't show up at the graduation. They said, this is for Reggie. And you didn't know if it's because he was in jail. Because he couldn't have a gun on campus. You know, you're on a campus, you're
and
not
being a
allowed to have
black man with a gun, period.
Yes. And so, one, you either think that he's in jail for shooting the person or he is dead. And so you don't really know. And that moment, you're like, oh my God, if he's dead, you're upset. But also, if he's in jail because he killed the person that was about to shoot all these people, that's stupid as fuck. And you're even more upset.
Right. So, Reggie, again, he joins everyone who's done gathered at the end. And what is actually revealed what happened is that Reggie shot and disarmed. They don't really say what happened to the guy, but he shot the guy who was coming there to do the mass shooting.
Correct.
And what happened was Reggie went into hiding afterwards because he did not, while he does not regret defending himself, he did not want the narrative to be flipped by Republicans or guns rights people to justify how they are with guns and to use him as their poster child because the reasons that he had and was defending himself does not align with the reasoning why people advocate for the gun rights. So he did not want his message or, so essentially he went into hiding to where, one, it didn't impact the people around him.
Because he was also getting death threats and stuff.
Right. So he just didn't want what happened to impact anybody. He also did not want what happened, anybody to dilute it and take away for why he did what he did.
Yeah. And I was just very happy that he wasn't dead or in jail because that really stressed me out a bit. I'm not even going to front. I was like, if I just can't handle this, how the fuck y'all going to end this show like this? But he came and where all the people were in the future in the basement or whatever they were at. And basically, like, he just goes and talks about what P-Baby just said, and then they, Sam and her boo make up, kinda, I guess, and we're talking about seeing each other afterwards. What is his name? We totally didn't talk about him at all. The light-skinned one that is...
Al?
Yes, Al. Al ends up with the girl that was trying to get with Reggie, and they're, like, married and shit.
Muffy, not Buffy. Whoops. The friend that Coco
I didn't even hear
against.
You say Buffy. I thought you said it. Yeah.
No, I didn't say Buffy.
Okay, yes. But Coco becomes like a fucking senator or some shit. I'm trying to think of everybody. But yeah, Al ends up with that one girl. Coco is single to our knowledge and and she won that show. I don't know if you said that. She won the show and she is a senator or some shit. I'm trying to think of everybody's job.
They're all bosses.
Basically.
Pretty much,
yeah. And Reggie still had his app, but I think he ended up either shutting it down or stuff because people were, even though it was supposed to be a safe place, people were, I guess, pretending or whatever to
basically hacking it,
yes, and then going out and like tagging the places, the black-owned businesses and stuff like that. So it was supposed to be something that was positive and ended up not being, which was not a shocker.
Yeah. And we went into hiding. He went into hiding from everyone, including his friends. The only person that had access to him was Joelle.
Because that was his wife, is my assumption.
Yes. Yeah, they were married.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of crazy to think that, like, because they were so close.
Yeah, and for just that one thing to change your whole he literally had a whole time. He had what I don't know 8-figure salary was coming his goddamn way, and before all of this happened, and then it was
because they were going to be so he found someone who was interested in purchasing the app, but they were going to, in order to everyone says whether it be shows, and I actually heard Issa Rae talk about it, is that in order to engage all people, specifically white people, you have to make it inclusive of them. So like in her show Insecure, that's the reason the first season had somebody white in it, was to draw in white people as well. And then shows afterwards, I don't remember who they said.
I definitely watch Insecure, and I really gotta...
Yeah, she did an interview with Breakfast Club. The first season, there was a white person in it because of that reason. And then seasons afterwards.
I know, I remember.
And then seasons afterwards, there weren't any white people.
I think she was in the first and second one.
But that's why he turned down the deal, because they wanted to make, his purpose was to make it for black people to be safe and to communicate to one another. But they wanted to widen it and make it and repurpose
for everybody.
It. Yeah, and repurpose it. And he was like, no. And he walked away from a multi-million-dollar deal.
Yeah. And that takes guts because most people ain't gonna do that. They're like, well, it is what it is, and I'll create something else, later for it. Yeah, but he stuck to it, and I was like, all right, well, do what you got to do. So, yeah, that I just could not handle if he was gonna be dead or in jail. The jail part would have made me even angrier, but the dead part would have definitely been something else for sure. So I'm very happy he was alive. Yeah. And at the end, basically, they just stood there like in different lines. You could tell he was crying. Did you see it? He was crying bad. And I don't know if it was. I'm quite sure because it was the end of the show is what I'm thinking. But he was crying. So you could tell that he was like trying to hold in the tears from falling.
Cause that's a lot. Because I mean, think about it. That's a real emotion to connect to a character. Him being a black man himself, and what is going on in the world today. Yeah, that's a whole real thing. To only imagine putting yourself like, I could, the episode with blackface, the blackface party. I could only imagine being that actor and knowing what's going on in the world, specifically in the U.S., with the relationship between officers, white officers. And black people, even more specifically black men. So I can only imagine what type of toll it took on him. Yeah. And then, the last one between regaining and taking back his relationship with guns at the gun range. Yeah, that was a powerful one. Yeah, when he started tap dancing. Oh, that was my favorite scene of the entire one. One, because of the tap dancing piece, it's like almost like he was able to shed all of it. Like even like having to be like the hard man, because tap dancing isn't necessarily associated very masculine. Like it just seemed like he was able to be free and express himself naturally as he felt in that moment. So yeah, I couldn't even imagine having to be someone who portrays that, what you have to
go through. That's a lot. Yeah, and actors and actresses, when they have to play those things, I just could only imagine like the dreams you have, or I guess nightmares and stuff that you have to go through.
What type of therapy you may have to see.
Absolutely. Like, what's his name on that movie? The Messiah.
Oh, are you talking about Lakeith?
Yes, because he said he had to go through it, because that's something crazy to play.
I could imagine when they see us, any of those actors, how they take that afterwards.
I was literally, was I talking about that movie with you or somebody else?
Oh, no, it wasn't me.
Yeah, that right there.
I could not imagine how they process that afterwards.
Especially the kids. Well, the adults too, but especially the kids, and doing, like, yes, especially the one that had to get stabbed and was raped in the jail. Like, that's so much. And I don't know if I told you, but me and my son watched it together. Well, me and my son, my sister, and my niece, we all watched it together. And it was, I cried. My son, he cried. Like, it was a whole thing. We had to, like, stop watching it because it was the episode or the series or whatever, the limited series, when you think they're about to get off. Well, obviously I knew the story, but he didn't, but you think they're about to get off, and then they don't, and it's because he was so excited. He was like, oh, they're about to get off, it's going to be so great, and I'm sitting there, so I'm like, well, I know the story, and that's not going to happen, but I didn't tell him, so I'm just like,
but it's also like that piece of the child that like is like, okay, they obviously didn't do it. Yeah. It's also not understanding how the world works, unfortunately, especially,
he was like, but how does that, and I was like, and so we had to, have that talk and stuff. Like, I cried so bad. And then when the boy got stabbed and stuff, he was like, why did he go to jail? And why did he have to go to that one and other ones didn't? And I said, and it's crazy because he wasn't even there. Yeah. He was not even.
He took the harshest sentence.
And he won't even there. That shit. And that has to, like, eat you alive, especially the one where his father basically was telling him to do it, and he was like, I couldn't forgive my father, which I absolutely get. Like,
it's hard because they either put you do a plea deal, or you go to jail, face a trial, and they're definitely going to convict you at trial.
Yes, unfortunately, but it's like, that was just heartbreak.
The parents, that's all they know. Well, yes, it's very because you don't have money for a lawyer.
Yeah, the only one that was different was the Muslim mom, or the one with the Yeah.
Yep. And he's getting some crazy ass. You guys, take a look at the little puppy. I'm actually surprised he's being so quiet. Go to mommy.
What's up? Just don't pee on me. My hair, not my hair. You and my hair. It's not for you to eat. No. I love you. Stop it. Come on, we gotta finish watch the episode. Here you go. Watch it. Say hey everyone. Hey. You gotta get down now? Go ahead.
But yeah, unfortunately, being a black man, that automatically it strikes against you, and unless there's some type of and that still doesn't exempt, but you have to have, unfortunately, access to resources
for that
when it comes to the system as a whole, because it definitely was very different outcomes based on the family's ability to
pay, and because they split them, and that's when that shit went terrible. Yeah, it was just very sad, that whole thing. No, thank you.
I don't chew this. I chew this then. I can't chew this. I get this then.
Basically. But yes, it's crazy. So, woo!
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that I will say I have between On My Block and Dear White People, I am very impressed I'm very satisfied with how the ending of the series went. Yeah. I think they did it very well. I think they gave resolution to the characters.
Yeah.
I wasn't disappointed at all.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think are there any other shows that we've watched?
No, but Insecure came out this Sunday. This is the last season, so I will have to watch that because I did not watch it last night. So I'll be watching that probably today. So you definitely should watch it. Mm-hmm.
It's on HBO, right?
Yeah. So I'll be watching that.
HBO.
Mm-hmm. But all right, T'Challa.
He discovers reflection.
Yeah, well, he does it in my thing over there.
Oh.
With the fire thing. He was looking at it the other day, and he was like, "Rah, rah, rah," and just going crazy. And I said, "It's you.
He's just trying to bark, but nothing came out.
But yes, y'all. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and tell everybody. It's your girl Velvet and
baby. And as we always say, life is tough, my dear, but so are
you. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah. And how all the old things you saying? Yeah. And just remember that each of you are beautiful, and to never stay what?
Stagnant
in your motherfucking life. Bye.